Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. This time, we're getting a little, poetic.
Oh, poetry. I like where this is going.
Right. We're going to be diving into a piece that blends that classic Rubaiyat style, those four-line verses.
I do love a good Rubaiyat.
But get this, it's got these themes that really echo astronomer and poet Omar Khayyam.
Okay, so we're talking big questions here. Life, death, beauty, the whole existential shebang.
Exactly. All that, but delivered through these surprisingly relatable, down-to-earth verses. We'll hear selections, then really pick apart what makes them tick.
Sounds like a plan. What ideas grab us? How do these, centuries-old concepts still hit home today?
That's what we're here to find out. Ready to have your mind pleasantly muddled?
Always up for good muddling. Hit me with it.
All right, so right off the bat, this poem kicks off with a powerful image, a rose.
Classic.
But this isn't just some flower passively blooming in a garden. It's almost like a character bursting onto the scene.
Oh, I like that. So how does it grab you right away?
The language, it's so alive. There's this line, laughing, into the world I blow. You can practically feel the energy.
Right from the get-go, you get that vibrancy, like this bold celebration of life. Very Rubaiyat.
And the sensory details, oh man, it's like you're right there experiencing it firsthand.
Paint us a picture. What's this rose look, smell, feel like?
Okay, so imagine dewdrops like pearls on silk petals, that intoxicating fragrance just hitting you.
It's that classic carpe diem, that seize the day feeling the Rubaiyat's known for. But here it's even more, poignant because the poem knows how fleeting it all is.
That's what got me. How quickly it goes from joyful blooming to, decay. It's like looking in a mirror, our own lives, right there in the rose's short life.
And that's the beauty of it. The poet's making us think. How do we value time knowing it's limited? This interplay between joy and decay, that's the thread through the whole thing.
And speaking of time, this poem, it really hits you with how fleeting it can be. There's this one line like a gut punch. Life whispers a dream that says, wake, live, for the rose withers all too soon. Beautiful, but whoa, kind of terrifying too,
It's that urgency, right? Like, pay attention. This is happening, NW.
Yeah, exactly. It's acknowledging, like, hey, we're mortal, this is a finite thing. But within that, it's like this invitation, find the meaning, find the joy, because time's limited.
Makes you think about those classic sayings like stop and smell the roses. But this is deeper. It's not just a surface thing.
It's like the rose itself becomes this whole metaphor, right? For beauty fading, for life's pleasures.
That transience. Be present, savor it, even knowing it won't last. Which, speaking of, the poem then brings in human connection.
Oh yeah, as we get into this next part, the whole mood shifts, I felt. It goes from that single rose to, like, two lives intertwined.
More hopeful, almost.
Yeah, like, okay, yeah, doesn't last forever, but that just makes the time we do have more precious.
It's interesting, that echoes Omar Khayyam's work too. This idea of human connection as, solace, meaning especially compared to how vast and indifferent the cosmos is.
Yeah.
We crave that connection when faced with the scale of the universe.
It reminds me of this time a close friend and I were both going through some tough stuff, and we were out walking, not even really talking about it, just enjoying being together, right? And we passed this rose bush, full bloom, and the scent, it hit us both at the same time. We stopped, looked at each other, and just burst out laughing.
Just like that, a moment of pure joy.
Yeah, it was like this reminder. Even when life's hard, beauty, connection, it can still pop up unexpectedly.
And the poem, it kind of does that too, Grounds us in the personal, even when it's getting at these big cosmic themes. Speaking of which, buckle up, listeners, because things get real cosmic next.
We're moving on literally from smelling roses to staring up at a sky full of stars. The rose fades. We get these huge ideas. Fate, legacy, the wheel of heaven. Oh, and that line. The desert's grains ever blow, grind, and blast the camel trains.
Whoa.
It's like suddenly you're in this ancient epic landscape. Totally changes the vibe.
And this is where those Omarian echoes from the title, they get super strong. Omar Khayyam, he was fascinated by the cosmos, those cycles of creation and destruction. So we go from just personal mortality to something eternal.
It's a jump, I'll admit. But stick with us, it really comes together. You wouldn't think, like, classic Rubaiyat could handle these cosmic ideas, but it does.
And it works. It's like this reminder. Poetry is not just pretty words. It can tackle these huge existential questions humans have had forever.
And here it's echoing those questions over millennia, blending ancient and modern.
Speaking of modern, the language even starts to sound a little physicsy. Like it could be talking about fields, energy.
You're not kidding. Quantum pops up. I was like, wait, is this some secret physics text? What's the deal there?
Right. It's tempting to go, oh, they knew about quantum physics back then, but it's more nuanced than that.
So not like equations and stuff.
No, not in the modern sense, but on a deeper level. It's that same human curiosity about why. What is reality, even if we don't have the answers? And that goes beyond any specific science.
So it's more about asking those big questions than getting it right.
Exactly. That sense of wonder, that awe in the face of the unknown. And using that to fuel our curiosity, even if we don't figure it all out, which really is what the poem itself is doing, right?
Taking us on this journey, using language and beauty to explore those huge, messy questions, like a testament to poetry and to human curiosity itself.
Beautifully said. But the journey's not over yet. The poem, it kind of circles back, brings us back down to earth, to simple pleasures.
You mean those last stanzas with the goblet?
Yeah. After all those cosmic images, existential pondering, we're back to something relatable. Enjoying a drink, savoring a moment.
And, I mean, who doesn't love a good goblet of wine metaphor? So tangible, sensory, like a reminder to appreciate those simple joys, those moments of connection, especially knowing, like the poem keeps saying, life is fleeting. It's like, I don't know, if you've ever been up on a mountaintop, looking out at everything, and it's so huge, it's kind of awe-inspiring, but also peaceful. That's what these last lines make me feel.
Yeah, I get that. We're grappling with these massive ideas, but there's still that beauty in the everyday, just being present, you know, enjoying a feeling, a moment.
And isn't that what it's all about? This whole poem, it's like, it's telling us to embrace it. All the good, the bad, the huge cosmic stuff, and the little things right here.
Exactly. Keep asking those questions, even if we don't get a straight answer. And maybe there's something comforting in knowing that people have been wondering about this stuff for, like, ever.
It's like we're part of this big conversation across time, and this poem's just one part of it. So as we wrap up our deep dive here, any final thoughts? Something to leave folks with?
Don't get caught up in needing the answers. Just like the poet, we should enjoy the search. Keep exploring, keep being curious, and finding that wonder in the world.
Love that. And you don't need a fancy telescope or anything, right? Sometimes it's just taking a walk, appreciating a flower, those small things.
Exactly. So, to everyone listening, if this poem sparks something, check out the full text. But even if poetry's not your thing, tap into that curiosity of what makes you wonder, what's the universe whispering to you?
Keep those conversations going, keep exploring, and keep that sense of wonder alive. Until next time, everyone.